Hello everyone, TJ Hernandez here, and I'm the founder of RosterCoach.com, a classroom-style video-based website that's designed to help you improve your daily fantasy sports game. To give you an idea of what RosterCoach has to offer, here's a preview of the sixth and final lesson in one of our latest courses, How to Be Profitable Playing PGA DFS. If you enjoy this video, please like and share it, and don't forget to leave a comment below.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the final installment of the How to Play PGA Daily Fantasy. I am Davis Maddock. You can find me on Twitter at Davis Maddock. This is the sixth installment, and what I think is probably one, it could end up being the most important, at least when you're trying to understand how the prices end up where they are on DraftKings. When you think about pricing golf, you can't do what you do for every other sport, which is literally just price by fantasy points per game. Look at these results if we did. This is again for the Shell Houston Open. The event doesn't really matter at all, but that's where the salaries are coming from. These are not indicative of the way that the golfers should be priced. The only guys who are above sort of 9,000 that are in the top 15 golfers are Ricky Fowler, Jon Rahm, and Jordan Spieth. These other guys with smaller samples, guys who played weaker events, like Patrick Cantlay, like Peter Uihlein, who has results from the European Tour, it just would not price appropriately. But you also just can't subjectively price golfers. You can't just say, well, Jordan Spieth should cost X amount of the cap and Tom Hoge should be exactly half of that. First of all, that would be incredibly time-consuming and the salaries would not come out until way later. So how does DraftKings do their salaries? Well, if you just organize here descending by salary, and then you go to whatever sort of sports book you want. Pinnacle is generally regarded as the sharpest online sports book, but there is, Bovada, there's Five Dimes, all of them are fine. But here, we are descended by odds to win from Vegas. This is at Vegas Insider, which is just sort of a cumulative resource. Like this is an average of where they are on all the books. We have Spieth, Rahm, Stenson. When we go to DraftKings salaries, we have Spieth, Rahm, Stenson. And it just descends all the way down throughout the field, and that is how DraftKings prices are generated. Something that I know a lot of people who play PGA Daily Fantasy like to do is they like to find discrepancies between the odds. So this odds column, they like to see discrepancies here, and then go into the salaries and find where there exist some differences. Now, there are a couple key things to note. First of all, the science of golf odds making is not exactly a science. It's definitely an art. If you talk to anyone who has made golf odds in the past, they'll tell you that it is not necessarily an exact science. For example, in this event that we're looking at, Russell Henley is listed as 35 to 1, and his DraftKings price is a little bit off from that. You see he is about the 10th highest rated golfer by odds, and he's a little bit lower than that on DraftKings. Part of the reason why that is Henley's odds are really, they're very high at this random event that we're looking at because he has a really good course history. That stuff absolutely plays in to how the odds are being made, and you need to be conscious of that so you know what you are paying for. Paying for a 35 to 1 Russell Henley is not the same as paying for a 33 to 1 JB Holmes because Holmes does not bring the same sort of course history baggage. So this is going to generally be your starting point where you're looking at. It's also helpful to note sort of line movements over the week once the odds are released. A lot of times those can be pretty noisy, especially when someone is moved back. So, for example, if I'm recording this on a Monday and Rafa Cabrera-Bello is 55 to 1, if he moves back to 70 to 1, that doesn't really mean anything. They could just be trying to drum up action. It doesn't mean it was a good or a bad price. What you would notice would be if someone moved from 120 to 1 to 60 to 1, or a big movement, like a positive movement, making their odds shorter, because that generally means that there's some sharp money on it. But again, not getting too wrapped up there, because what we actually want to pay more attention to are matchups. So I'm here on Pinnacle.com looking at tournament matchup odds for the Golf Shell Houston Open. And if we take a look at this, what we see is a comparison between two golfers. So maybe you are trying to decide, between two golfers. This is a really good example right here. Daniel Berger and Tony Finau are pretty far apart in the odds. So we see that Berger is listed at 40 to 1, and we see that Finau is listed all the way down at 150 to 1.